Naming of the individual series of your Series LLC. If you have a Series LLC or you're thinking about forming one of the big questions you might be asking yourself is, how do I name these individual series? And do I have to record that name anywhere once I do form that individual series? My name is Nate Gilbert. I'm an attorney in San Antonio, Texas. I do a lot of Series LLCs, a lot of help with individual clients and business entities that are forming Series LLCs and individual series along with them. If you're looking for specific filing instructions, I'm not going to be doing that in this video. This video is more for those individuals contemplating a Series LLC and wondering about what the naming conventions look like and how that's going to work in practical senses. So the individual series, let's say you've got your Series LLC formed, you formed it properly, you have the actual language needed on the certificate of formation, you've got your operating agreement, you've got everything you need, and it's done properly by someone who knows what they're doing with Series LLCs. And now you are in the process of creating your individual series. How do you do that, and what is the name for that individual series? To be clear, you can name your series whatever you want. Okay, that can be any name that you would like. I have a video regarding the series individual name registration. I'm going to tell you now how to avoid that registration. A few years ago, the Secretary of State adopted new guidelines, and the Texas legislature adopted new guidelines for the Secretary of State, where if you use the name of the actual Series LLC in the name of the series and identify it as a series of that parent organization, not a true parent, but as we've said in other videos, I use it as shorthand, the parent company in that actual name of the series, you are not required to register that anywhere. Now, there might be times down the road where you want to register it, or a bank might want it registered, or some other individual that you're working with wants to have it registered before you close on a loan or open a business or open a bank account, whatever it was. They might want to see some kind of certificate from the Secretary of State saying this is a series. That's fine. You can do that using the form in the other video, and I'll try to link that one in the description as well, for how to fill out that secret form that the Secretary of State has that's not listed on their website for some reason. So again, this kind of flies in the face of a previous video I did where I kind of mentioned a longer name for the actual series of a Series LLC. If you are naming that and using that old naming convention, you can modernize, use this new one now. The old one's not necessarily wrong. It's just more convoluted than it needs to be at this particular time. So based on the new laws and everything, if you're doing a new series, let's do an example, right? So I've got Nate's Properties LLC. That's my Series LLC. If I want to name an individual series for that actual Series LLC, what I would do is I would say Series 1, a series of Nate's Properties LLC. That's still kind of a long name, and it's not going to look great on t-shirts or hats or whatever, but it's still, something that's going to actually work in stream of commerce and in business when I'm using it. Now, a lot of folks will use Series 1, Series A, whatever it is, and then kind of number from there. My recommendation usually is use something different than that. And if you want to use something different than that, find something that reminds you what's in that series, right? So if you have Series 1 through 12, sometimes it can be hard to remember which property is in which series, right? Let's make it easy on ourselves. Let's find some distinguishing characteristic, like an address or some other feature that we can name it and say, look, this is where this property is. Makes it easier for record keeping, knowing where the receipts are supposed to be stored. Makes it easy. I'm always about making it easy on ourselves and the management side. If you don't make it easy on yourself and you make it really hard, then the tendency is not to do it, right? We don't want to do hard things. That's just not what we want to do. So if we want to actually take care of the managerial aspects of the Series LLC, make sure we make it easy on ourselves. We can identify those individual series. So again, series naming is a very convoluted topic. If you have questions about that, please feel free to reach out. I've got a link in the description for a free consultation with me. You'll get a direct phone appointment with myself, and we'll get your questions answered.